Hey, so I just woke up and I'm feeling this need to record because there's stuff going on that's not making sense and I need to document it. I don't even know where to begin. If it goes dark, it's just because my light is going to overheat my phone and it'll sacrifice the light. That's why I've got my lamp on. So I don't know if I've taken a trip into the underworld. I don't know whether I'm on assignment. I don't know whether I'm being tested and this is an initiation for something. But everything was fine. Everything was fine. And then all of a sudden, I'm noticing glitches in my memory. Now, I had my memory wiped in the Lionsgate portal. So I have recall, but no memory of things. However, I've started getting flashes of memories of things that have become nagging. I can't get them out of my mind. And one of the things I keep remembering having flashes of is screenshots of Western Union transactions that my ex used to get me to check up on when he was in prison. And I went into my Gmail photos, Google Photos thing to retrieve the screenshots. I was getting flashes of these screenshots that I know are there because I go into that file 1,000 times a day for my Instagram, putting up jumps that I'd recorded over the years and, things of significance, the little files of like training tests and articles and, my journey and all that sort of thing. I've got loads of them. And for some reason it wouldn't let me in. And it wanted to send a verification text to a phone number that wasn't. It ended in two digits that weren't recognisable. I sat and put them up against all the numbers I thought may have been a recovery number I would use, because at one point I had no phone and had to use my son's phones and tablets and that. So, because I have no income or anything like that, so if anything breaks, I'm pretty much screwed and reliant on other people to help me. And I knew I had recently changed the password. So, because like I said, I gain access to this account all the time, but the two digits didn't match up to any of the numbers I would have assumed, because it would have been either my son, one of my son's numbers that I would have used as a recovery number had I set it up at the time when I didn't have a phone of my own and had to use theirs. So obviously but then then it denied me access because I'd had too many failed attempts to try and change the password. I couldn't send a verification to the number because it wasn't a number I recognised. So then I decided just now to give it one more try, and I tried to change the password, and I tried to find other ways to gain access to the account without needing a phone, and like it wouldn't let me in. I either needed the password or I needed the contact phone number in order for me to do any of it, and it just wasn't letting me in. And then I decided to try and contact Google to ask for help, and something happened, and next thing you know, it says I've been granted access to the account. And next thing you know, I'm looking at the screenshots. I've managed to get some of them out, but it keeps shutting down when I get past to a certain point. I don't know if it's me that's glitching it, or there's a glitch in the program, or I don't understand what's happening. But then last year I started getting these weird transactions on my PayPal. Like all of a sudden I had a student want to try and send me money that made no sense as to why she was trying to send me money, because we weren't even talking anymore. And it was like, oh, here's money because, like, remember I rang you that time, and this is to pay for the bill. And it was like, what? Like, it didn't make any sense. And then some random person out of nowhere in California sent me 4 cents. And I sent it back saying, I don't know who you are. And then all of a sudden, I get an email to say, a customer has made a complaint against me because I haven't sent the product that they paid for, and they've asked for an investigation. And I tried to say to PayPal, I'm not a business, I don't sell anything. I'm setting up a business, but like my products aren't, most of them aren't even finished in the testing stages. And I was trying to explain to them, I'm not a business, I'm a homeless woman. I'd live out my ex's back room, and, it didn't make sense. Because then I said to PayPal, can you please tell me what it is I'm supposed to have sold these people? And I checked my account, and apparently the transaction had been made and they'd paid, and I'd immediately transferred the money into my bank. And the money was in the bank. So I was like, well, I must have accepted a payment for something like it, but it didn't make sense. And I kept saying to PayPal, I'm not a business, I don't sell anything. Can you please ask them what it is I'm supposed to have sold them? And I wasn't getting any reply, I wasn't getting any help. And then PayPal were like, no, you owe them the money. We're taking the money from your account, which I didn't have, so I had to borrow it to pay for it. And so, yeah, just weird things like that. And I don't know why I'm remembering this stuff, but I just know that it's important. But it's horrible because I'm trying to get the screenshots out, and it's malfunctioning on me, and I'm getting to a certain point, like screenshots of women that were contacting my ex's Facebook account that I was controlling, and how randomly I was getting requests to try and reset the Facebook password. I've got screenshots of me getting notifications saying someone's trying to change your password to my ex's Facebook account, and all these random women just appearing out of nowhere at a time where his friend puts up screenshots of him putting his address out there for people to be pen pals with him and stuff. Photos of him and his friend on stacks of money and like things like that, and it wasn't making any sense. Things weren't making any sense. And I don't know why I took these screenshots, and it's terrifying me because it's like, Am I being paranoid? Was I being paranoid? Am I thinking these things about someone who could be completely innocent? Because, like, I was so desperately in love with that man, I thought he was my world. And then suddenly things started not making sense. And I was going through screenshots of me constantly on the phone doing battle with the phone service just to be able to talk to him on the phone. The hundreds of hours I put on hold dealing with phone companies over all those years and helping them sit his exams because I put him through college, and all the emails that I have screenshots of going back and forth with all the food delivery places when I was sending them all the food. I'd do barterings for people. Like, I'd give people and their friends free readings if they bought them a pair of bouts and things like that. And I've got the receipts and I've got screenshots for them all. And I don't know why I took screenshots, but I just know. I obviously at the time knew they were going to be important, and I don't know why. But I just keep hearing, get ready. And it's scary because it's like, am I the good guy or am I the bad guy? Like, there's a bit of paranoia setting in, which is why I'm wondering, have I taken a wee trip into the underworld? Which is why I'm recording it, because this is something that if I'm going to understand this to help other people deal with their ascensions, I need to know how to deal with it myself. So I'm recording it, I'm documenting this for scientific research purposes. I'm going to show you how to get out of bouts of paranoia when you're having a trip in the underworld. Because it's like my, was that a gold one? So I'm in the creation frequency. Because I keep thinking, at the time I took those screenshots, it was when I trusted him with every fibre of my being. I was in love with him, he was my everything. So why would I feel the need to take these screenshots? Does that mean that I'm paranoid schizophrenic? Or was there something in it? And this is where your subconscious mind is good, because it's where logic, doubt and reason sit. So now what I have to do is I need to try and justify my paranoia and say to myself, okay, what does your gut say? And my gut says I was doing the right thing. There's a reason. There was a reason. There's going to be a reason for it. And then there's like that matrix thing of, yes, but you had a dream once that when you interpreted it, it said that you were going to get into trouble for things that you say on social media. And it's going to create a backlash. So then it's like, okay, logic, doubt and reason. Yes, that did happen, but the event's already happened as well. Because the whole reason this began is because I had put some tweets out on Anonymous, like I had muted everyone on the account, and I don't know why I did it. And I had said, I think my husband's scamming me. And I don't know why I said it. I don't know why I said it. And then I had also asked about an annulment. How do I get an annulment? And said I need to get my tattoo removed on my arm, and I don't know why I said it. But I felt so guilty about it, I told him what I'd done, and then that's when all hell broke loose. And I felt at the time it was completely justified. I had said to him, I completely understand if you want to leave, because what I did was horrendous, but I can promise you nobody saw it. There were other things that I said as well, but I can't remember them. But like at the time, like if you look back at it from this perspective, if he was completely innocent, what I did was horrendous. And I took complete ownership of that. And I held my hands up to it. And I thought if it turns out he was completely innocent, then him walking away was justified. And I need help, sort of thing. And that's when I started realising that something wasn't right. That I was experiencing some kind of spiritual warfare. And of course then I came out of my ascension, came out of the underworld. I had those 10 days of complete isolation and basically sweating out the paranoia in my head. It was absolutely the worst experience of my life. I never ever ever want to go back to that again. I don't ever want anyone to feel the way that I felt when I was going through those 10 days of spiritual detox. I remember laying on the bed just begging for death because I felt so bad at what I had done to my husband. And everyone turned on me. And I thought it was justified. But then I started finding messages to myself where I had documented me leaving messages to myself where I'm leaving codes and leaving little trails, breadcrumbs for me to follow that started building up a bigger picture of what it was I was dealing with. And I was gang stalked mercilessly. And some of these screenshots made me realise just what horrible people some of these people were that I had in my life. I was spending hundreds of hours trying to pour my knowledge into people that were plotting to take me down because I expected them to be better people so that they could help me look after these children, because I always knew I was going to try and get to these children. I've always known my destiny lay in me getting to America and driving around and doing historical grief cleansings and investigations and everything that I've been planning to do. Like, it's changed throughout the years, but it always leads to me using my skills to do these investigations and, oh, there we go, and helping the children. And these people were supposed to help me. And instead, I ended up getting kissed by Judas in the Gardens of Gethsemane. And I took it because I thought it was justified. Because I couldn't understand why I have these screenshots of things. And recorded messages. I found videos on my laptop before it died of me recording phone conversations with my ex. Where I'm explaining my ascension to him. And it makes no sense whatsoever what I'm trying to say to him. I can't even begin to imagine what was going on in his head. Which is why I was determined to try and make sense of it all. So this is me using logic. I'm trying to find logic in my doubts, and I'm trying to find reason behind what it is that I'm thinking and feeling to see if it's justified. And one of the things that I noticed about when you're having trips on the underworld is that you can suffer from false memories. I know I went through the list of those phone numbers to see whether the number that had come up on my Google account was one of the numbers I would have used as a recovery one when I had no phone, and there was no match. It doesn't make sense. So was that memory real? Did I get the number wrong? Was I in an altered state? And it's like, okay, so listen to your gut. What does your gut say? My gut says I know that number was different. I know it was different. I brought up the list of numbers on my phone to match it, and no, none of the numbers on my phone matched the last two digits of that number that was on my Google account. And then all of a sudden I was able to gain access without a password. My phone has started doing just out of the blue. When I'm typing on my keyboard, it will just go really, really slow and sluggish, and it will start highlighting all the numbers on numbers and letters on my phone after I type it, but it will hover. So if I press THE, I'll say like the cat went to the store. I'll be typing that out, the cat went to the store on my phone, but like I'll hit the key and a millisecond later, the T will pop up on the screen, and then the H and the E, but then they'll hover, like they won't go down. They stay there for a bit, but it will take, like, it's like typing in cement almost. And then there's a massive delayed reaction to what it is I type to what comes up on the screen because it's so sluggish. But what it is I type gets highlighted on my screen and hovers for ages. And I keep saying to people, I swear my phone's been hacked. I swear my PayPal was hacked. I swear my Gmail was hacked, and I remember I sent an email to one of my ex's friends like back in 2019 or 20, and I said, I want it on record, I'm being hacked. And I've still got the email. And I don't understand what's going on. It's because it's almost like either I'm under surveillance, I'm being hacked, or some like someone's trying to make me think I'm crazy. Do you know what I mean? So then it's like, is that paranoia? Because it would appear that it was paranoia. But when I say it, my gut reacts, and it feels right to feel that there's people out there that want me to think I'm crazy. Because I would say to my ex, seven women contacted you on your Facebook account, but when I clicked on them, they were like fake accounts. And then, like, one of the screenshots I've got is of some random woman, and this was at the time when his friend had put up the paper with his address on it, the letter with his address on it, saying, like, you know, if you want to write to us in prison, here's our addresses. And I had confronted him about it, and he completely denied it. And there was software you could use that could, like, tell whether the writing was the same. And we were putting it against letters that he'd actually sent, and the writing was almost identical, but he swore black and blue. You know, because his friend had called me and said, tell him we're even, and something about his dating profile on Instagram. And we had this huge argument about it, and he swore black and blue. And then I get a request from his friend on his Instagram, and when I accepted it on his page was a photo of my ex and him on a phone, on a mobile phone, sitting on a wad of cash. And when I told my ex, he went absolutely apeshit. And I don't know what's going on, because it's like, am I a bad person? Like, why would I take these screenshots? Why am I thinking like this? Why am I feeling like this all of a sudden? I've been going about my business, happy as a lamb, just, you know, building my empire, and that. Why all of a sudden has this started popping up? Why now? And every fibre of my being keeps saying there's a reason. There's a reason why. You have to trust your instincts. You have to trust your instincts. I have to trust my gut. And I'm absolutely terrified that my ex and my students have gotten themselves involved in things that could possibly be about to land them in a lot of trouble legally. Every fibre in my being keeps saying, I nearly got myself involved in something that was not good. And that's why I was saved. Because these were people that I was going to try and bring in on my empire. I don't understand why this is happening, but I have to have faith that it's happening for a reason. It's the worst feeling in the world when you realise that the people you thought you could trust more than anything in the world were the people that you could trust the least. But I wouldn't have changed a single thing for all the hours that I worked, for all the money that I lost, for every late night, long flights, starvation, holes in my clothes, going without shoes for 13 months, going without food sometimes for 3-4 days, where I was wearing maternity clothes because I couldn't afford new ones, because everything I was doing was for them. And as a result, I got to learn humility. I got to learn the true meaning of having dignity. I got to learn self-respect. I got to learn how to love myself. I got to learn to master my gift. I got to learn how to perfect my science after I created it. I thought I was doing it all for them, but now I realise that I'm doing it all for humanity. I used to say to them, help me get to where I'm going and I'll look after you when I get there. And then I realised that they were all removed because they weren't allowed to be a part of it. And that's completely fine. Because I'm so grateful for the experience. In spite of everything that's happened, in spite of the pain and torture that I've had to endure trying to balance out my conscious mind, I've learned so much from the experience. It's just, I can't put a price on it. I've never been happier in all my life, and I have absolutely nothing. But my imagination and my creativity. I know that there's a point to it all, and there is a greater plan and a bigger purpose for all of this. And not just that, I had this experience and I had to walk away from it in order to do the right thing. Because every fibre of my being was telling me that I need to get to America so that I can protect it. And I've had a lot of things try and stop me from doing that, and none of it has succeeded. None of it will stop my plans. Paranoia is the worst feeling of them all because it's involving you questioning things like people's loyalty and your mental state of mind. It makes you question things that you don't know why you're being forced to look at them. And I think there's no feeling worse in the world than the feeling of questioning your own sanity. But again, you need to use logic, doubt and reason, because they're the good side of your subconscious mind. Just like you have a healthy ego and an unhealthy ego. And my healthy ego keeps telling me that even though none of this makes sense, and it is terrifying to think either I've thought bad things about good people, or people that I thought were good were bad. But I need to trust my gut. And it's terrifying me because I don't know where this is going to lead. I don't know why I'm being asked to do this. But I am taking a leap of faith. And I'm trusting my gut. I'm going to be sick. And I'm doing what I'm being told to do. I will do whatever feels right to do by America. And if I have been caught up in anything illegal, I will do whatever I have to do to stand my ground and trust my truth to do the right thing for America and for anyone involved in anything that the people in my life have gotten themselves caught up in. I'm going to be sick. So I'm putting this video up. For scientific purposes, so that people can know what to do if they're ever in this situation of questioning whether they should put themselves out there to do the right thing or not. But if my name has been involved in anything illegal, I will do the right thing. Because I could not live with myself if I found out that I had been involved in or gotten caught up with people and situations where innocent people were affected, innocent lives were affected, and money was taken from innocent people. So if I have to be the sacrifice in order to clear their names and get them some sort of retribution or reparation, then I'm going to do it. I'm putting my reputation on the line. Because I have to do what I believe is right. I need to try and get the rest of these screenshots off my account. But it keeps playing up. I'm here for a reason. And I am here to protect and defend the pure and the innocent. Even if it means sacrificing everything to do it. At this point I have nothing left but my reputation. But if it helps innocent people, and it serves justice for America, then I'll do it. I would do it for any country. Because every fibre of my being is saying that this is the truth. Always listen to logic, doubt and reason, and never not listen to your gut. Think positive thoughts. Now that it is off your chest, think positive thoughts. I just refuse to believe that there are certain people involved in that who are active participants, shall we say. Maybe even victims. But I've got to leave this up to God now. This is in God's hands. What happens next after I upload this is all up to Him. And if I am wrong, then I will suffer the consequences. It would be justified. But if I am right, then hopefully it brings peace to any of the innocent people that were caught up in it. I'll be the sacrifice. I'll do it. I just need to get that screenshot off. Anyway. Here we go.